you.
Wow, that was bigger than what I was expecting.
Well, you got to take charge of it.
Welcome.
Yeah, welcome to another episode, another exciting episode.
Living Well
Together.
Big life in a small town.
Big life, small town.
Yeah.
Hi.
Coming from Fairborn, Ohio.
On a Sunday. We can tell them that, right? Yeah. They just think they don't know.
It'll still be a Thursday for them.
Yeah, but we're in here on a Sunday afternoon because the commitment is at least one a week.
Right. Are we being resilient that way? Because we have flexibility in our schedules?
Yeah. Yeah. Our topic du jour, if you speak French, is resiliency. And why are we looking at resiliency?
Well, our business coaches just recently launched a resiliency camp because they're also feeling the need. They see in their community just some frustration and some overwhelm. And if we can have tools and a plan to enhance our resiliency,
right,
then we're all going to be better off. But they work closely with Michael Chandler.
I was going to say, part of it is...
So if you want to chat about that, because talk about having to be resilient.
Well,
right?
for our UFC fans,
yes.
Michael Chandler is UFC... I started to say badass, but I don't know if you're allowed to say that.
I think you can. I think there's worse than that coming up.
Pay-per-view
you want me to... I can pull up his bio even if you want.
The reality is he's in a sport, a competition that requires extraordinary amounts of training. So right now he's in training camp. And so our coaches and some of the people we know are connected and are supporting him by creating a resiliency camp of our own. Mm-hmm. So while he's training and hitting things and being hit and rolling the ground and doing what it takes to survive in the octagon, a group of us are supporting him by being in our own 8-week resiliency camp.
Right.
Right. And so by that, we're just talking about things that you do to improve your body, your mind, and your spirit with some accountability.
Exactly. Yes.
Because it's a group and it's not about being perfect. It's not about, I got to do 80 sit-ups a day. Mm-hmm. And if I miss a day, I'm just a dirtbag. It's not that. It's knowing that you can be as committed as possible to getting some things done in a timeline. It's goal setting and it's accountability, mm-hmm. where you can say, hey, I'm struggling a little bit today.
Yeah.
I need a word of encouragement, or
mm-hmm.
What can we do to prop each other up
mm-hmm.
As he's getting ready for this big title fight in Madison Square Garden.
Right. Yeah. And their commitment, this is something free that they're offering, just almost like a community
anybody, you
service.
guys can get in on this. You do not need to be a member of our organization mm-hmm. to participate in Resiliency Camp. It is a nice introduction, though, to some people that have had a pretty good influence in our life and on our businesses and just mindset management and,
mm-hmm.
and accountability for getting things done. We'll put that link in there, right? I
yep.
assume.
Yeah. Shawn Dill and Lacey Book, they are chiropractors. They have 2 connected businesses. One is called Book Yourself Solid.
Right.
And then also Black Diamond Club, which is more of their coaching. But Book Yourself Solid, I think that they're trying to integrate both of those things together. And so it's through those organizations that you can join the Resiliency Camp, which is designed to help reconnect with your inner strength, rediscover the unwavering spirit within you so that you can weather any storm. It's a place where you can begin to see the message through the mess and start rebuilding with intention and purpose. You don't have to walk this path alone. Join us, and together we'll navigate this journey with courage and unwavering support. And so we'll. It's just a simple join, and you'll get some email support,
get some emails,
some text support.
Right. But really just designed to create a community mm-hmm. of people who are just committed to being as resilient as they can mm-hmm. be and supportive as they can be. I actually popped up the definition of the word resilience just to make sure.
Yeah.
And there are several, but I'm going to go with the one that's number 2 here. And it says the ability of a person to adjust to or recover readily from illness, adversity, major life changes, etc. Mm-hmm. etc. The ability of a system or organization to respond to or recover readily from crisis and a disruptive process. So bouncing back really is the key. And when you look around, it is the need for resiliency. I would argue has never been higher.
Right.
I mean, you can't turn on your TV or your computer, or you can't scroll your internet without like 10 reasons to stay strong, and
Or to feel so weakened.
or to feel defeated. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's one or the other. And that's where I think that this is so important, because you have to decide.
Where you spend the
on an
time, where you spend the energy, and how quickly can you recover from adversity, right? And it might be something as simple as a job that you didn't get, or a call that didn't go the way you wished it would. So, the key to resiliency is really just your ability and how quickly to bounce back to be in a better version of yourself.
Right.
So we can talk about some health tips, some mindset things, and we'll put some of those things in there too. But between politics and natural disasters in our country right now, oh my gosh, the devastation. You talk about the need for resiliency. If you lived in Chimney Rock, or in North Carolina, Tennessee, Florida, who's getting ready to go through another storm. We actually were supposed to be in Clearwater next week, and our conference
This week. Yeah.
this coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, this week. It'll go out this week. Has been canceled due to the impending doom that is forecast by the weather. So we're staying home. The conference has been canceled and will be rescheduled later, which we hate, because it was going to be a great opportunity to further our skills and meet with great people. And
Yeah, I was going to get to meet with the telewellness team down there in real life.
Yeah.
They were going to take us to lunch, and then I was going to do some video training for the other affiliates that are part of the organization too. So I'm so sad, Ashley and Stephen.
and we just want to make sure they stay safe.
Exactly.
I mean,
Yeah.
they got a big
Yeah.
mess heading their way. So hopefully they'll get out of town.
Right. Yeah.
But
No, but they're used to it. Like, this happens a lot for them. I was talking to Ashley before Helene hit down there, and she's like, we just take hurricane days. It's just everything shuts down and everybody prepares with all the tools and
Right.
resources that they use each time this comes through. And obviously some years they're hit harder and more often than
Multiples,
others.
yeah.
And this is just crazy, because it's almost, what is it, a 2-week span
probably
between them?
Yeah.
And so that's requiring resiliency from their community for sure.
Yes. And it's also given people that don't live there a really great opportunity to be supportive and come together and pull together. I don't know that the government's holding up their end of the bargain as far as restoration and
Boy,
getting things
you want to go
done,
there?
and holy cow.
But what that has made me see, and I haven't looked at it nearly as much as you have, but what it shows me is that the resiliency as these communities and as individuals across the country are saying, I am putting my life on hold,
Yeah.
and I am heading east,
Into the
north,
storm.
south, into the storm
Heading
to
down there
help.
to be of service and do what they can.
Right.
And bring supplies and clothing and food. I mean, these people lost everything.
Everything. But it's the communities themselves. It's not the government organizations that are helping. In fact, from what we're seeing and hearing, is that they're actually causing more trouble by telling people to stop helping.
Yeah.
And
I don't
so,
know.
yeah.
I don't know. Anytime the
becomes
government
very
says we're here to help,
confusing.
it's going to get weird.
Yeah, it's just very confusing. Like, you want to have hope in the people that are saying that they'll take care of you in these terrible times.
Right.
But it's not the organizations, it's the humans.
Right. And that's kind of the key to this whole thing, is humans being humans and being able to bounce back and being supportive when people need support, because everybody's going to need support at some time in their space.
Yeah, we're all in this together.
100%.
I think that one of the challenges over the last 5 years, I can't believe it's almost been 5 years since all that started.
What? Oh, the whole
Lockdown
situation.
craziness, but creating a situation where we all feel so isolated and alone, and like we can't lean into family or friends or our communities for extra support
Just
to help
the
with that
psychological
resiliency.
brain damage that was created by that episode, where you got to cover your face. You don't get to see people's expressions or their smiles or feel their vibe. And so it does make it a little tougher. But I really do think the human spirit is what matters in these tragic kind of situations, for sure.
Oh, definitely.
And so when we talk about resilience or the ability to adapt and bounce back, everybody's going to need propped up at some point in time. Sometimes you're the propper, and sometimes you are the proppee.
Right.
And that's what makes humans awesome, I think.
Yeah.
So we'll have some nuggets, right?
Yeah.
Some things
Yeah,
that we can talk
chat through a
about.
couple of things. They're basically talking about physical, emotional, spiritual, and then that accountability factor that you added in there already that you talked about. But like for our perspective, like what are some of the things, what's resiliency look like for you personally? You're going through the camp too, although you just started, right?
Well, the question is, what can you do to commit to making things better? And so for me, some of it is mindset, because your mind and your body can't be separated. If you're neglecting one part of it,
Right.
then the other part is gonna suffer.
Let me show you the tracker. So the resiliency habit tracker, it's broken down. This is a 2-month program that they have set up,
weeks,
and
right.
you can
Yeah.
start anytime. So it's 1 to 2 mind goals, 1 to 2 body goals, 1 to 2 spirit goals, and then 1 to 2 accountability goals. And that way, you're focusing on just a couple things,
Right.
not all the things, because that's just going to be overwhelming too, right? So just creating, how can I help my mind be the best that it can be? How can I get some resiliency there? So for you, like, what does that?
Sometimes it's going to be do's and sometimes it's going to be don'ts.
Right.
So I've started recently. I've joined a group of men for a Bible study. Magic for the mind, magic for the heart. And again, you get to prop other people up, and sometimes you get to be propped up. I think men don't do a very good job sometimes of recognizing that they need propped up. Big boys don't cry, and there's all this stuff. And at the end of the day, it is essential that we can come together, especially as a body of Christ in the community, and support each other and just be there for dudes.
Right.
So part of that for me is about just making sure I'm getting in daily reading, making sure I'm staying on top of that. The other thing for my mind is my professional life. There's a lot of science and research. I just spent the weekend with one of the world's leading neuroscientists looking at the work. The way the work we do impacts actual brain function, not just body function, brain function, measurable changes in brain output and in the resilience of the brain.
Right.
So
Yeah,
there's
that's
always
so
going to be
timely.
research I could be reading. There's always going to be philosophical things or mindset things that keep me focused on taking care of my business and my people.
Right.
So those two things, mindset-wise, for me, is adding some reading, and in that space, what I have to subtract is this. So there's adding and subtracting. This little gadget.
So what does that mean? Well, how are you going
well-
to subtract it? Because I know that you do use it. So will you just not be on Facebook?
Yeah, it'll just a social media fast, a break from, or maybe even set time limits. I don't know that I could do a complete fast. Well, because
that like
we've got
cold
to do
turkey?
content. Right, a part of that is a business responsibility.
Right.
So I can't be without it.
But being a
necessarily
creator and
is different than being a consumer.
100%
100% true.
Like
So
when you
again,
set
for
those
everybody,
parameters.
it's adding and subtracting.
Right.
In other words,
Yeah.
where would I fit in additional reading? There's only 24 hours in the day. So if I'm going to add something, I have to usually find, where's that time that I'm going to swap it out.
Well, one of the biggest things that I know that you talk about, even with patients in the office, because right now, with my clients, with your patients, everybody is struggling more than they ever have.
The
Like
economy,
it
the
is
politics, the
crazy.
neighbors, the dog ran away, the kids got to get
mean, there's
everywhere.
so
People are
much.
burdened.
There's so much burden. And, so you do make some easy recommendations, like keep the TV off, and
Well, there's a little black wire that comes out of the back of it. If you
Yeah.
just pull that out of the wall,
right.
I mean, it'll save your life in some ways.
In some ways, because it's hard enough for us to deal with what we're dealing with personally, but we are so connected to the world
Yep.
like this.
Internet, I mean, it's
that then
crazy.
you feel that you take that on and you have no control over
And it
that.
changes your physiology.
Yes.
It changes your subconscious decision making. It changes the way you perceive yourself. It changes the way you perceive the world. That brain is a powerful tool. And the people who market to us know that. The people who create an algorithm for you know that.
They show you what you look
that
at.
dopamine
Yeah.
driven and immediate gratification in many ways. So like I said, everybody could stand to do less media, no doubt about it. If I'm going to add something, I started this body weight app. I got the.
Oh, yeah.
That's another thing.
So
with
that's
my
your
phone.
body thing, right?
Right. So the physical thing is a calisthenics workout routine. And I thought, well, gosh, how hard could that be? Well, it's freaking hard. That's how hard it is. But that's the only way. You know what? Another point is the only way to gain resilience is to be tested.
Right.
They don't call it a
That's
play
true.
out. They call it a workout.
Yeah.
You know, if the heaviest thing you lift is a 12-ounce can of pop or beer or whatever, that's it. So physical labor, whether it's yard work, whether it's, an additional walk, whether it is with or without any kind of fancy gym equipment,
Yeah, it doesn't have to be that.
movement and
Walking
resistance
really
type
is
training.
one of the best ways.
And it's good for your mind.
Glucose.
It pumps brain chemistry in. It changes body physiology. It changes hormone balance. So physical activity, whether it's work around the house or yard, whether it's a physical job that if you're driving a truck, that's way different than driving a desk at the end of the day. So increasing your physical movement, park further from the door at the grocery, get more steps in over the course of the time that you're awake. So just physical activity, big impact on your mind, big impact on your physiology, big impact on your overall resilience.
Yeah, for sure. And you've always been somebody that works out. Like you've always prioritized that because you know how good that is for your brain. And so are you still doing the other workouts as well as
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you just mix it up.
Okay.
You mix it up. But you got to do something every day.
Yeah.
Every day. So...
And then what about nutrition focus then too, like finding ways to include anti-inflammatory foods?
Well,
because don't you think that's all part of the body too?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And fuel, the body, everything goes in your mouth is building material or fuel for energy, right? And we had Honey's birthday at our house a couple of weeks ago, which meant we had some sweets around for a couple of days that should have been pitched, right? We should have been able to allow ourselves a day where we had some trash.
They did get pitched. That's what I did
eventually.
This weekend.
But I mean, I ate a lot of trash last week. It was
did
here
you?
for a long. Oh my gosh,
Oh, you
those little
sneak it
killer
then. I never
brownie
see you.
bites. No, you don't see me.
He's a closet sweet
Get up
eater.
in the middle of the night when you don't even know. No, that's not true. But if it's there, it's much easier to consume it. If it is not
Absolutely.
there,
Yes.
then you don't worry about consuming it. You don't even think about consuming it.
You might think about it, but the effort that it would take to get it, you either have to make it or leave the house to go get it. Although I've never DoorDashed just like
Reese cups.
no, or anything like that. I've DoorDashed some things, and even that's not that much. But it's never been like one of those cravings at the last minute. And it's like, I need that right now.
I'm not a DoorDash person.
I know
I've never DoorDashed. I've eaten DoorDash that you probably ordered, but I'm not a DoorDasher. I'd rather just go get it if I'm going to,
right. Yeah.
consume it.
But if you're cozy on the couch and
Blah, blah,
watching,
blah.
Caitlin was just telling me that there's a show called Nobody Wants This. It's on Netflix.
Okay.
So she was telling me that I definitely need to watch it. I didn't get to it this weekend. I was working on some other things, but that's what I was thinking. It's like, I did think about it. I'm like, I could go and get some fast food or some sweet treats and just binge watch this show.
Right.
And then I'm like, I think I'd rather do these
So
other
a good
things.
commitment for your resiliency improvement camp would be to consume more real food, less processed, no fast, homemade things that you can actually enjoy preparing yourself and spend time in the kitchen. Food prep time. I love it when you're making meals in our house. I love it when all of our kids are there. I love it when the grands are there. And we're all in the kitchen while you're doing things and maybe we're helping or not. Maybe we're just playing a game while you make food.
Yeah.
But I think that the socialized benefits, the benefits of just socializing with your people in your kitchen, I think can't be overstated either.
Michelle, that as far as like just that kitchen table.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we're eating real food. We know what the ingredients are because we know you made it. And we know it's not going to have MSG. It's not going to have fake sugar. It's not going to have food coloring. It's not going to, we're going to have real food. Real people should always
And
eat
it doesn't
real
have
food.
to be complicated.
Oh, no.
I was just thinking about this. A lot of people ask me for like menu plans to go along with their Radiant Wellness program.
Right.
And it's like, you don't really need a recipe for most foods. You can take I mean, you've seen me make the sheet pan meals.
Sure.
Like you just take chicken breasts, put them on the sheet pan, throw some vegetables on there, carrots or potatoes or broccoli or both. Yeah, just a whole big combination. Drizzle it with a short pour of olive oil, salt, and pepper, and throw it in the oven at 400 for like a half an hour, and it's done. Like it's that simple. It doesn't need to be, it's like whatever you have in the refrigerator.
Sure.
Just put that in there. If it's, well, like not anything.
But whatever you make is always better than anything we could get out anyway.
Yeah.
Restaurant food is, that's part of my resiliency training is because I feel like I eat a lot of restaurant food.
Well, at lunchtime you do, but
Whether
you also,
whether it's Chipotle or
but
First Watch or.
when you go to First Watch though, I feel like of all the restaurants around, it really is one of the better ones.
Agreed.
You can find good things that match your wellness.
Sure.
You know, it's aligned with your wellness for sure.
But every now and again, I'm going to slip in a little Waffle House.
And a pumpkin pancake.
Smothered, covered, whatever.
Yeah. You know, another thing that we're very conscious of for our bodies is reducing toxicities too.
Right.
Because when we're overloaded with toxicities, all the function changes and then our brains are wrecked too. The neurotoxins that come off of artificial sweeteners.
It's
and
funny
MSG.
because you got a new piece of equipment yesterday. I texted her
This
to say,
is
hey,
so weird.
I was at this conference and there's always vendors at a conference. And so I had engaged a conversation with a guy who's selling an ionizing machine for air, ionizes air.
Right.
And we have one, but it's ancient. And I'm thinking, you know what? We should replace these. We'll get one for the upstairs, one for the downstairs. So I took a picture of it and texted it and said, hey, here's the price on these things. How many should I get? And yada, yada, yada. She texted me back a picture of the one that she bought yesterday. Yesterday.
Like it was delivered probably within just, I don't know, an hour of you texting
That
me
is
the
so
information.
wild. But so what are the benefits of ionized air? Why would you ionize your air?
Well, it reduces all the viruses, pathogens that are in the air, pollution, toxicity in the air,
out of the air.
phthalates that are in the air that we don't even mean that we're, mean to put in the air. But I got it specifically because I've been on this water.
You are doing
all the
things to
different
your
water. So hydrogen water is what I was doing. And then I'm like, oh, I think I need ozone water now. So the ozonator that I got it specifically so that I could ozonate the water, which improves detoxification in my body.
Yep.
It enhances my immune function. It's also antibacterial for oral hygiene, but throughout the whole body. So I mean, it was great water. You can't even taste it. When you drink it, you can smell the ozone like after a thunderstorm.
Yes.
But then I took it after I drank all the water that I wanted. And I took the little unit and I put it in your closet for 60 minutes. And then all your clothes just smelled so fresh and clean.
I just came through a thunderstorm.
Yeah. And then I did the same thing in my closet room too.
Right.
And it does both things. And it wasn't very expensive. It was $70.
Right.
But I was super excited about it. It's not very big. It's about
Actually, we should put that in our Amazon place.
It's in there already.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Well,
but
I
if you
think
want, but if you want the link, I'll share it. Yeah, we can put it. We'll put it in the show notes too.
So two things. One of them is we were talking about phthalates and taking things out of the air and what we use our products. Whether they're personal care, soap, shampoos, deodorant.
Yes.
At this hotel.
Oh no.
The shampoo, well, they've got like the
on the wall
dispenser
now.
thing with body wash and shampoo and conditioner. And like once you smell it, you can't get the smell out of your nose. It stays.
And if it's bad, it's just just
or
makes
those little
you feel
Glade
gross.
plug-in things.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
All that air freshener trash is pollution. It is literally toxic.
It literally is toxic.
And so, if you have those in your house, take them out. If you have them in your car, take them out.
Yeah.
If you don't like the way things smell, clean them.
Yeah.
But all that Glade plug-in trash is just poisonous.
Yeah. So I mean, it's really I don't feel like that's something that we need to focus on. Like that's not part of my goals because we are doing it already.
But if
it
I
is
wanted to be
something-
more resilient and I wasn't aware of some of these things,
Yes.
part of the purpose of this exercise is
to
just
share.
to give you tips
Yeah.
and tricks to say, all right, I should pay attention to that. And I'm going to actually start reading the ingredient list on some of my food or my
Absolutely.
products.
Everything that you buy that is in a box in the store, you should look at the label. And if you can't read or put a picture to what it is, like say guar gum,
Right.
like can you picture what that is? Do you even have any? No. Then you should not buy it.
It makes me think kind of like it.
Maltodextrin.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many things. If you can't read it or you don't know what it is,
If you can't pronounce it, don't put it in your mouth or on your body or whatever.
No, we've become taste is so much more important to us than health.
Oh, for sure.
And they make those things taste so good.
And they know that.
And
frankly.
they know that.
It's hitting parts of the brain that makes you buy more, crave more.
So if you're needing to have more resiliency with your body, start reading labels. Only purchase the things that you know and understand.
Eat real food.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. And then, you know, there are some other things. I actually made a list of like just kind of like avoiding I call them troublemakers. Those are the artificial sweeteners and MSG, which contribute to anxiety and fatigue. And then processed fats, the trans fats, the vegetable oils like canola and soy.
Any seed oils are trouble. Seed oils are. You know what? I was listening to somebody else's podcast. Do you know that seed oils are not processed well in the body, but they actually come through the skin? So there's 4 ways that things leave the body, right? Your bowel, your bladder, everybody gets that, your breath, and your skin. But when those seed oils are pressed through the skin, they create a reaction from the sun that promotes cancer.
Oh, interesting.
And so when you think about how much skin cancer has taken off in the last 25 years, probably, that's about the same length of time as people have been using these kind of seed oils or those things that have been modified. But I hadn't thought of that. It's expressed through the skin and it reacts with the sun.
Right. See, because I don't feel like the sun is a bad thing. We need
the sun's not a bad thing. The Lord put it in the center of the universe for a reason.
For a reason.
Yeah.
But it definitely, skin cancer is one of those things where it's, you know, that
But the sun's not different. We are different.
we're different.
Right?
Yeah.
And so back in the day, I mean, there
are
are cultures that live in the sun and their skin or the melanin content has adapted to maybe that. But people are different. The universe isn't different.
Yeah.
We're just poisoning ourselves real slow.
Well, and that kind of brings me to another point. Like if you're needing more things to be more adaptable, adaptogenic herbs would be something that you could take. That would be herbs like ashwagandha, rhodiola.
Reishi.
Reishi, mushroom tea, moringa, magnesium-rich foods like pumpkin seeds, dark chocolate, spinach, almonds, if you can eat all of those.
Yep.
Camu is really high in vitamin C, so things that are high in
There's a thing called camu.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds cute.
I know.
I don't know what that is.
The
Is that a
vitamin
fruit?
C that we have here from Symbiotica is amazing, though, and that has a number of different. I think camu is in it, but it has other things in there too.
And that's, it's also very, very difficult, if not impossible, to get all the nutrients and nourishment that you need, even if you're eating the cleanest, best food.
Right.
Which is why a good whole food supplemental line like Symbiotica or Truvani or Standard Process, all of which we carry here in the shop.
Right.
You can't get what you need from food anymore because of the way we farmed it and raised it and the way we've treated the soil and modified the seeds and all that. So,
and peptides are a really big conversation these days. Most people, they don't really know all about it, and so just know that you can get plant peptides in whole food supplementation. You can get plant peptides in real fruits and vegetables.
Yes.
Like there are peptides in them. That's what makes them up. They're amino acids.
I was going to say, in fact, you can't get fruits and vegetables without peptides. You'll never see a peptide-free fruit.
Exactly.
Or whatever.
Exactly.
And your body naturally produces peptides. And so, it's not the poison that maybe some people have been led to believe.
No, and I'm not just talking about the GLP-1s. I'm just talking about peptides in general.
Sure.
And that if we can eat those peptides from foods, we don't need any supplements that call themselves plant-powered peptide formulas.
Right.
And because we can get it right from the grocery store. Just make better choices.
It's in the food.
And then one of the other things was Okay, so we're avoiding some troublemaking foods.
Mm-hmm.
We're adding in some herbs for resilience. Brain functionality and mental resilience, though. So lion's mane mushroom, omega-3 fatty acids.
Omega-3 levels are measurable. You can do blood work to say, hey, do I have enough omega-3 fats? One of the things that omega-3 fatty acids do, well, your brain is primarily fat,
Right.
right?
60%, right?
But it is also the vehicle. Omega-3 fats are the vehicle that other nutrients latch onto, like a school bus, right? All the other nutrients get on an omega-3, and then the omega-3 is what actually carries it into the cell. So when you have low omega-3 levels, you are your cellular oxidation is going through the roof, which means you're breaking down. Oxidation means it's rusting basically the
Right.
cell.
Well, and the challenge too is when the body is going in looking for omega-3 and it's flooded with omega-6
Or 9.
9, then that's all inflammatory, right? And so it's grabbing these things and putting it where it doesn't even belong.
Getting on the wrong bus.
Getting on the wrong bus.
Yeah.
And so it's wrecking our system. So that's another thing with the ultra processed foods and those really bad oils.
Yep.
So they go through a manufacturing process that is industrial. Like when you're having olive oil or avocado oil, that is something that goes through a pressing process and it's extracted. Like you get your oil and you get the fiber and the fruit part of the olive.
They just separate them.
It just separated. Right. There's no other
additives,
benzene
heat,
and hexane or any of those things that separate it. And it's really important to know because you are getting byproducts without realizing. So stick with the organic olive oil and avocado oil. It's more expensive, but your health is worth it.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. But like for brain functionality and mental resilience, like the things that you learned this weekend, like getting adjusted, getting checked.
When you realize that it's not probable to reach your adult life without spinal injury. And when we think of injury, everybody assumes you got to be bloody or need a cast or be in the hospital.
Right. Yeah. Or car accident or something really big.
Just do a search on your YouTube or your whatever device for. I watched this like 2-minute video recently, and it was just toddlers taking a soccer ball to the head.
Wait a minute, is that what you were doing on your phone?
Set. I'm just saying. Sometimes confession is really good for the soul. But
do you laugh at those things?
Oh heck yeah!
Do you see? There are. I think there's. Two types
I know
of people.
what's
There's
happening,
people that,
right?
that laugh when
there's
they see
some funny
people
stuff happening, but America's Funniest Home Videos.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
those people are getting hurt. I don't care what anybody says. There's a lot of injury coming through that.
Yeah.
And you're right. People just laugh. But the injury to spinal musculature is what lets the bones drift out of their normal position and lock. And then that muscle turns into gristle because anytime there's damage, there's going to be fatty infiltration. The muscle begins to break down. And so think of it like a gristly, cheap cut of meat. That's what those muscles look like and then feel like. They're painful. They're restricting. I can't turn my head this way as far as I can that way or whatever.
Yeah.
And the closer you get to the brain in the spine, the closer you get to the brain, the more important the neurology is, right?
And that's why you adjust.
That's why we pay a lot of attention to the neck of a person. But just recognizing that, unlocking that spine, balancing that body structurally. And then muscles need to, one of the things that people hate is you got to go to what's one of the things about chiropractic? Well, once you go, they just want you to keep going. Well, guess what all the science says? We don't usually have people here enough because of the changes that have already taken place.
Yeah.
And, that spine needs to be restored and mobilized regularly so that muscles are trained in a new pattern that's more stable and beneficial to the nerve system. So, all that stuff is governed. Adaptability and resilience are governed by the brain.
Yeah.
Everything else is second.
Right.
Right? Like you can have good food, you can have clean air, you can have ozonated water. All these things are very important. But if you're dead, none of it matters.
Right.
So it's
but
the flow
knowing
of information.
that how important that is when it comes to resilience.
Yes. Well, if I'm not fighting infections, if I've got chronic infection, my nerve system is struggling, which means my immune system is struggling.
Right. What's the data again about the immune system for somebody that's being adjusted? Is it like 200%
yes,
better?
300 to 500%.
300 to 500. Okay.
And cellular function that helps protect us from the inside out.
The immune system specifically.
Right.
Okay.
And, back when the beginning of the lockdown thing, everybody was in chiropractic and outside of chiropractic. You got to be careful. You can't say that what you do helps the immune system. You can't say that. There's no research on that. False.
But
Not
there is
true.
research.
There is, 100%.
Yeah.
And
So many lies.
you can't impact the nerve system favorably without impacting the immune system, either directly or indirectly. So chronic infection and disease that's just allowed to stay harbored in the system. In other words, not that we're going to cure anything.
Right.
We don't cure infections.
Right.
The body cures infections.
Right.
I'm not going to make diabetes go away, but would you rather have diabetes and an injury that's shutting off your nerve system? Because it throws you into that fight or flight based physiology, which is immediate immune suppression. So as we come into the autumn of the year,
Yeah.
that's a big
Yes.
deal.
You mean cold and flu season?
Well, Ohio only has 4 seasons, and one of them is not cold and flu.
But it is candy season, and it is pastry season,
Sweet
and it
treats,
is
it's holidays, it's all that.
all those
But
things,
now
and you can
is
relate
the
it.
time
Yeah.
to start stoking your immune system and start nourishing your spine and your nerve system, because you're
Absolutely.
going into the autumn of the year and then the winter of the year, whether you want to or not.
Yeah.
And so the stronger you go into it, the more resilient you will be while it's
Absolutely.
here.
Yeah.
Whether you're, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, financially. I think money is probably one of the biggest stressors for people that they don't acknowledge.
Right.
And for whatever reason, sometimes you run out of month at the end of the money or whatever.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so
No, it is.
It is
I
a
mean,
stress.
it is.
Everything
and it's
costs
changing
more.
every day for people because they're seeing their businesses, the companies that they work for changing,
Yes.
regrouping, and they get affected. I know
Amen.
you
We've had
mentioned that
several.
for several.
Right.
So the other thing that for me personally, when it comes to my emotional well-being and my resilience, I find that I need to do the mundane tasks, like doing laundry,
Things that you have control over.
things that I have control over, cleaning,
Amen.
cleaning an area that's been waiting for me for a while, just kind of decluttering, unloading the dishwasher, all those, they're tiny things and they really shouldn't matter. We make our beds every day.
Yeah.
And we have always made our beds every day. And I think it's so interesting. I should take a poll on on Facebook and see how many. I bet 50% of the people don't make their beds.
I can't get in a bed that wasn't made.
I know.
I'm not
it's
going
like
back
if you
tonight in a bed that's not been made.
right.
And
Yeah.
that's just the way we grew up. I've been taught to make my bed since I was a kid, so it's not
Yeah.
really negotiable.
Well, what it gives, by doing that one simple task, it can be very comforting for one thing. And it can also just give you this little tiny bit of something that you can
It's a little bit of discipline that once applied, it just carries into the next task.
even during stressful times where it's like, well, but my bed's made.
Right.
It's
Right. I'm not a total
and now
loser.
I can go
I actually made my bed.
I can go and take care of this other larger thing.
Well, because that self-talk is important.
Oh,
It's easy
yeah.
to get careless, and that changes your resilience.
It does. Careless and some people might. I don't know why people don't make their bed. It's such a simple thing to do. I don't know, Grim. Do you guys make your bed sometimes?
We make it before we get in.
So one of the things is you guys' bedrooms are upstairs and our bedrooms are on the main floor. So if we didn't make our beds, then we would see that all day long, and that would be horrible to me. You guys can just kind of it's just up there, and you get up there and you deal with it. But I don't know. I'm not sure why.
Well,
It doesn't
I don't
even
know
matter,
either.
but it just seems like a simple.
The point
a
is
simple
take
thing.
control over the things that you actually
That
can
you can
control.
take control
I can't
over.
control what's going on around the world. I can't control what's going on with the weather. I can't control what the election's going to do. I got no control over that stuff, but I can
Yeah.
make my bed.
Yes.
I can organize my desk. I can make sure my closet's appropriate. So when you just take those little niggling things and
Yeah.
you stack them up in your favor, it's like, golly, Ned, I got 17 things done
Yeah.
today, and I feel really good about myself.
And sometimes it's important to make that list.
Yes.
Like if you're feeling overwhelmed, like you're not accomplishing anything, take a couple of days and make a list of everything that you do, because it's way more than what you
Yeah, I
think.
love it, especially women.
Oh, yeah.
The stay-at-home mom. She'll say, "Well, I didn't really do anything today," and it's like, hold the phone.
It's
You did
crazy.
This.
Yeah.
This. But
Yeah.
just take
probably
charge of
5
what you
times
can.
more. Right.
Take charge of what you can.
And then some sensory activities for emotional and spiritual grounding. Some people enjoy aromatherapy, using organic, real, pure scents.
You mean not Glade plugins?
Not Glade plugins, like lavender, if you
gonna
like
get some hate
that,
mail
or
on that one.
bergamot. Glade plug. I don't think. I mean, hopefully most people understand that they shouldn't be using it. I don't think that they realize to the extent how bad it is for you, though. And
But you're talking about aromatherapy.
Aromatherapy to promote relaxation and emotional balance. Water therapy. So water therapy would be when you can swim, be in the water. That's been so amazing.
Take a bath.
And take a bath.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like whether it's
Bubbles,
with Epsom salts, if you like bubbles and they're toxin-free.
Toxin-free bubbles.
Go bubbles.
Right.
But only if you like that. I have a friend who, she does her best work when she's in the shower. And she'll be in the shower for a long time. Like more than an hour.
What?
And I actually...
I didn't have that much hot water.
we would have that much hot water.
I don't want to talk about it. I'm not staying in the shower.
She would have like a board. I had sent her this waterproof board where she could take notes on it.
I'll be darned.
Because sometimes she would get out of the shower and forget all the good things that she was thinking. But it's very soothing and relaxing for a lot of people. And just taking the time to do that is a good idea. Breathing exercises is another one. We call it box breathing, where it's in 4, hold 4, release the breath for 4, and then pause again.
Again,
for 4.
Self-care things.
Self-care things, yes.
I think people need to know there's a difference between being selfish and self-full. It is not selfish to take good care of you. What was that?
I was just looking at 41 minutes. We had said, 25 or 30 minutes.
25, 30. Boom. And we haven't even gotten to the big part at the bottom yet, at the end.
No, I know. Okay, let's, anyways, regain a sense of self-control, and that can be by breaking tasks into micro steps. So when you're feeling depleted, which that's what happens when you have been so overwhelmed that you don't
Those
even...
days where you want to just walk into the woods and not walk out.
Well, tackling big tasks can feel impossible, so breaking them down into the smallest steps. Like if you're going to clean a closet, clean one shelf. If you're going to do the laundry, fold 5 pieces.
Whatever seems overwhelming, make it less.
Yes.
So,
and
or
then
make it underwhelming.
Right. Celebrate those small things. Keep a very simple routine. And that can help to give you that sense of control and just let you get back to a resilient state again. But yeah, we have some really exciting news that we want to share with you guys.
Did you tell Graham already?
No, I don't think so. Okay. But maybe have touched upon it. But yeah, if we are going to start a Living Well, Giving Well campaign where we're going to do, it's basically just giving.
It's a weekly giveaway.
It's a weekly giveaway. You don't have to do anything except for be on the mailing list for that particular
it's a gratitude thing.
Yeah, it's just a gratitude
thing. And so, how do they get on the mailing list though?
So they'll go to livingwellgivingwell.com.
Okay.
And there'll be a landing page where they can sign up. They'll need to put in their first name and last name so that we'll know who the winner is.
I was going to say, will we announce winners on this podcast?
We will not announce winners on the podcast. We will only announce the winners through the email.
No, I want to announce it on the podcast. I want you to know if you won, and I want you to know if you didn't.
Well, it's not necessarily a podcast thing. We could.
Maybe we'll do a live just for the drawing, just for the giveaway part. I want to know.
Okay, you're totally.
Okay, never mind. You keep talking.
The idea was that they get the email. They're on the email list. Then whoever wins has to come to the office by Wednesday after it's announced, which will be on Thursday, right? And then they come in, and if
whatever the prize is, you got to pick it up.
You have to pick it up.
You got to come and get it. It might be cash. It might be gift cards. It might be like when we look back through some of our local businesses.
I know, that's what we were thinking. Maybe other people would like to
promote.
donate.
If you want to donate for our giveaway thing, we will promote your business. Yeah. And it might be a service or a product.
And they could be on the podcast if they haven't been already.
And they could be a guest on the podcast. That'd be fine. But we want to highlight our business people and say, hey, if you got something you want to promote, we want to help you promote it. And if not, we'll probably prime the pump anyway. We'll probably do the first few weeks worth of giveaway stuff.
Yeah.
But if you don't, so here's the rule though, right? You got to come and get it. If you don't come and get it by the time we make the next podcast or the next episode,
can I see your note?
Then it just rolls over. And so the person, like, let's say it's a $100 Amazon gift card, and Joe Blow you got to swing in by Wednesday to pick up your $100 Amazon gift card. And if Joe doesn't make it by the time we record again, then A, he doesn't get the prize, and B, it rolls into the next week. So that week we're going to have, now we already know we got a $100 gift card, but we also have this fabulous something else. If nobody picks it up, then it rolls into 3 prizes. So the goal is just going to be to give away as much stuff as we can.
We just want to spread goodness.
And that'll take you out of your news feed and out of your,
Exactly. And when you have a sense of hope, there's a sense of resiliency can return if it's missing. Don't you think?
It can only help.
We just want to create positive ripples, right?
Okay. Create positive ripples. Okay. All right.
Dina, I love the ripple story. What are you thinking? Am I off base here?
No. You're never off base. You're right on base. Yes. It'll be awesome.
Okay.
Now, if somebody wants to donate a car, we'll give it away. If somebody wants to donate like a gift basket from your business or like I said, a product or service. And if somebody doesn't pick it up, it goes to the next person who does pick it up.
Yeah.
The following week.
Right.
Week to week to week. I'm anxious to see how this is going to go.
I am really excited about it, though. I think it'll be super fun. And we really do want to include our podcast guests coming up on, for this situation, but not always. It really is just something that we want to just share with our community. And so obviously until we figure out another way, this will be for local people because they're going to have to come.
Yeah, we'll have to fly in to pick up your
to pick it up
$20 gift card.
But and it's a way to just help other people.
Yeah.
It'll
be awesome.
So that's what we're thinking. And so it'll be one Living Well tip and then one Giving Well gift.
That's the challenge. You will get, you'll get an email. Now, if you're already on, because we've got several, if you're already on the Living Well Spine Center's email list, you are not going to get this email. If you want on the Giving Well list, you must go to the site and put your name and give us permission to be in touch with you. And then you'll be notified of any, like, here's what we're giving away, here's the prize, and here's who won or whatever.
Yeah. By the time this airs, it will be in place. So you'll be able to just go on to the livingwellgivingwell.com and put in your first and last name, your telephone number, your email address, and just click okay.
You could win fabulous prizes. And for doing nothing more than signing up to win.
And opening up your email.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah. They'll have to open it to know if they won and what's going on.
I think we should announce it. I want to be able to announce them.
We'll also be announcing it on the podcast.
You might.
Well, you can.
Well, you'll have to give us permission probably to use your likeness and be on the, I don't know, there's probably some kind of big legal nightmare that would create. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We don't have to do it right now.
Nope. But if they like what we're seeing, hearing, and doing, what should they do?
Subscribe, like, and follow.
Subscribe, like, and follow. And share.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Let your friends know that we're doing this too. Although then that becomes a little bit of competition.
It's super fun.
The more names in there, the less likely they are to win. But you never know. And there'll be plenty of prizes to go around.
Yep. So that's our thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're excited. Anything else you want to add, babe?
Not a thing.
Not a thing.
See you next time.
Thanks, you guys. Bye. Woo, woo, woo.